Recorded live from Portland, Oregon, it's the Transamorous Network podcast. Let's get it on.
Interesting story before we start the show, just because I like to hear myself talk on a microphone. I was walking down the street day before yesterday. Today's Saturday, so it was Wednesday, so a couple days before yesterday. Walking down the street, I just left a meeting with in my governor's office for the Human Rights Campaign, and this man sees me walking down the street, and he runs out of the store, chases me 2 blocks down the street, and asks me out on a date.
Oh my.
I know, right? And I'm just like, dude.
He just asked you out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I've tried that before.
He literally, it was kind of one of those situations where it was like, ma'am, miss, like this really awkward situation where it's like, ma'am, miss, excuse me. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, do I have like, it's like, what's happening here? Like, I got something on my shoe. Like, what's going on? He's like, and then, could we, coffee?
Oh, it's too bad you didn't save that for the show, because that would have been fantastic.
We can still do the show.
I think
it doesn't have to be cut out.
Well, I'd have to cut it and put it in the show, because this is the very beginning. It's like the first 2 minutes. All this is going to be not in the show, probably. Unlike the last show where I included everything we did.
Yes, you do.
It was good. Okay, here we go. Welcome, bitches.
Morning.
Hello.
It's Perry Gruber from the Transamorous Network podcast.
This is Remy Omatar.
And this is Shannon motherfucking Scott. Hello.
I love it. We are rocking this morning. We have great energy, and we have a lot of good things to share with you this week. Today, we're going to talk about the Pope. We're going to talk about a rabbi. And we're going to talk about the news.
The Pope is a dope.
The Pope is, that's a good
Hashtag it's me. I get credit for that.
Right on. The Pope is, that's a really good one, actually. The Pope is a dope.
Just came up with it.
All right.
This shit just comes to
That's
me.
going to be the title of the show. The Pope is a dope.
Yes.
All right.
Remy's like, please, God, no. Because she's got some Catholic family back in the background.
Oh, no.
I could care less, to be
believe me,
honest. I just, you know what I mean?
I'm a recovering Catholic, and, I was just talking before the show started about how my mom's been oddly silent lately, and she is like Catholic as Catholic can be. She is like drank the Kool-Aid, had seconds, and now brews her own Kool-Aid. And so, believe me, I was in the Catholic Church hardcore. So my perspective from this, just so everybody knows, I was an altar server for 10 years in the Catholic Church. And an altar server is one of the people who wears like the robes, and they bring the priest.
I thought they called that altar boy.
Let's not gender this. Let's not gender this.
No, wait a second. In the church, isn't it called altar boy? There are no girls doing that job.
Well, now that this is changing, but yes, at the time, thanks for calling me out, Perry.
I know.
Jesus. So it was, and I did that for 10 years, and while I don't identify as male, yes, they did call it altar boy at the time.
Okay.
And which is why I choose to call it altar server. But I did that for 10 years, and then after that, I moved into being a lector, which is when you get up and you read in front of the entire church.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's like I was Catholic.
In it.
Yeah,
so all you listeners who are Catholic, we're about to diss the hell out of the Pope.
Brace yourself.
But note that there are 2 people with the Catholic background.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get on.
Let's get it
Well,
on.
this is coming from an article that was published about what the Pope has said about transgenderism.
What did he say?
You know.
Okay, okay. So the Pope came out. Actually, the Pope didn't come out. He said this behind closed doors to his senior bishops, but the bishops leaked the shit. And basically, he said that the Pope, said that transgender people equal the annihilation of man. And he also alluded to the fact that the transgender movement is trying to sway children in schools to question their gender identity. And the basis for him saying all this is that God created man. It's God's creation that man is man and woman is woman, and there's this huge gap. There's this vacuum.
Nothing in between.
There's a vacuum in between. There's man and there's woman and there's nothing in between.
I think the article said something about, he said people should learn to be happy with the sex that they were born into.
They were born into.
Oh, that's such an amazingly ignorant thing to say. Gosh, it's like being born into money and just being like, why can't you just be happy really destitute?
Yeah,
like, just learn to be happy really
poor.
My
God.
I have all this money and it's really great and I'm really comfortable where I am, but you know what? It's not for you, and you should just learn to be happy, the way you are. It's like, how about...
Oh, welcome to my life.
Yeah. It's like, come on. Really?
Right.
Really?
Right.
You think people are committing suicide. You think people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and putting everything on their line, their life, their relationships, their home, their job, so that they can be genuine and get nothing other than that from it. They get there's no pot of gold at the end of the transgender rainbow. There's only honesty. And so you think that people are doing this because they're just not determined enough
to accept what they were born with. And what would cause
Seriously?
someone to not accept what they were born with in the first place if it wasn't something legitimate?
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely. It's
right?
something from the inside.
Yeah.
Gender and sex are completely different.
Anyway, Pope is a dope.
Yep, Pope is a dope.
So-
Go.
Well, I was just going to move into the article that we were talking about earlier, where it actually refers to the Bible.
Yes.
Speaks of
And
the Old
so let's
Testament.
talk about what this what is the official term?
This rabbi.
Rabbi.
His name
Mark
is
Sameth.
Mark Sameth. He is questioning whether, of course, this is an inflammatory headline. He written specifically for this purpose. His headline is God transgender? And of course, God is not transgender. God has no gender.
Thank you.
God
That's what I believe.
Yeah, God is a potential out there. But this article the headline was written this way to draw people in. But it's a fucking great article.
It is a great article.
Oh, the F word. I used it once already too.
You
Wow, and
did.
I never.
I know.
Not never, but I rarely say the F word. So
I know.
for all my devout listeners, I apologize. I'm
Don't apologize. This is who
you
so,
are.
So
part of who you-
I'm a bad
sorry.
I'm a bad influence.
That's why we have Remy in the room.
Because we love Remy. Okay, so anyway, contrary to the Pope, this rabbi, by the way, I think Judaism predates Catholicism. Is
Yes,
that
Indeed it
accurate?
does.
Yes, because the Torah is the Old Testament.
Thank you, bitches, and not you two,
I
but
know.
I'll be a bitch.
so I think the Hebrew person here, this Jewish guy, has something to say over the Pope, and in my opinion, he's spot freaking on.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about some of the actual bread and
Yeah.
butter of this, where it's like not just opinion, and so that you can you can disagree with opinion all day, but let's look into this. In Genesis 3:12, Eve is referred to as a he. In Genesis 9:21, after the flood, Noah repairs to her tent. In Genesis 24:16, refers to Rebecca as a young man. I think the Old Testament is full of these. They cross-gender all of this stuff, and so why so stuck on the binary?
Right. So
Mr.
the
Pope?
rabbi is making the claim, and this is an opinion piece. It's not
right,
straight news.
but he does have some personal experience with this.
He does.
His cousin was one of the very first, was within the first people in America to actually get sexual reassignment surgery
America,
back
that's
in
correct.
the 1970s.
Her name was Paul, and she came out as
Paula.
Paula. Correct. And
And
he's
she lost her job at a prestigious job as an educator in
and tried
music.
to sue for
tried to
wrongful
sue
termination
and lost.
back in the day in the
Right.
70s.
And so this is where this is coming from. And
Yes.
he brings up the question is what would it be like if that had happened today to her?
Yes. Well, it would have been a whole lot different. But then he goes
Depending
into
on what state she lived in.
Well, right. And then it goes back to what Shannon was saying, which are all these examples. He says that, hey, you Christian motherfuckers, the thing that you profess describes all creation is not black and white on the gender situation. It's
No.
actually very gray.
Well, and yeah, he points out that all of the three major religions are all based off of these examples, this Torah, this Bible, the Old Testament, they're all Abrahamic religions, Islam, Judaism,
Right on, girl.
Christianity.
Whip it out for
They're
me.
all part of the Abrahamic traditions.
And
which all come from this
the
original
Old Testament.
the Old Testament, which he's reading in its original language.
Yes.
And when you read it in its original language, is when you get
these
truth.
gender pronouns,
You get the
gender
truth.
neutral, actually gender blended pronouns. It's not even gender neutral. There's some instances where a guy is being called a she, and some
Esther
instances.
2:7. Mordecai is pictured as nursing his niece Esther.
Thank you very much.
And
Similar
Genesis
way in Isaiah
1:27
49:23.
refers to Adam as them. Like that's full of it. It's like, but that's just if you want to see the truth.
Well, and that's
You
the
know?
thing, because so a lot of people out in society will tell you that the Bible a lot of the way the Bible was accumulated or put together was made up by a bunch of men in a room somewhere, and that a lot of the stuff that did not confirm what people wanted, what the people in charge wanted other people to believe, was left out of the Bible. And probably some of the interpretations of the Bible, like this whole abomination bullshit, is just that. It's an interpretation made in alignment with the way that the people in charge at the time wanted society to go. And finally, the fuckers are finding out that no, that's not true, that the Bible was actually a lot more
open-minded.
Thank you.
They
Open-minded.
spun it. They spun it
spun
on
that
you, okay?
shit.
This was
They
like the
completely
original
spun it.
spin factory,
Yes,
okay?
they
They were like, well, this doesn't meet
Well-
our message. Let's cut this out. Let's
Exactly.
emphasize this part and like then have
I like what he
everybody
says
believe
here. He
this.
goes, why does the Bible do this? These aren't typos. In the ancient world, well-expressed gender fluidity was a mark of a civilized person.
Thank you.
Such a person was considered more godlike.
Thank you.
Like my ego needed a boost.
And then it mentions, the nursing kings and how they seem to mimic Hatshepsut, who was the first
Would you say that again?
Hatshepsut.
I've never heard it
I
said
like
so
that.
well.
Hop,
I
Hot
just want to
Hatshepsut.
get inside your mouth.
right? Oh my god! Why is that sexy? I'm sorry.
She was the first and only known queen of Egypt to profess herself as pharaoh, as king. She was the first female king of Egypt. She would wear the false goatee, and she wore the men's headdress.
Huh.
And yeah,
And what did you say he said about her?
that it mimics the nursing kings, how she was a nursing.
Well, that
king.
makes sense because she was a fucking woman.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But she ruled as a man
Right on.
would have ruled.
Right. So this brings us to the other part of our episode today. But before we go there, because this sounds like this episode is going to be relatively short.
You know what? If this episode is short, I was just actually gonna steal Remy's pad and paper and like, if this is short, keep it short.
Yeah, I agree.
Like short is better
yeah,
than
short
long
is
and
better.
drawn out.
Yeah.
Full of BS.
So before we get to the next part of the show, I just want to take a moment to honor our sponsor because we're fucking awesomely
We're growing up.
excited.
We're big boys and
Yes.
girls and non-binary people now.
Yes, we've got a fucking sponsor.
We are sponsored by The Velvet Rope, 3533 Southeast Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Portland, Oregon. You can find them at thevelvetropepdx.com.
And the Velvet Rope is
Adult sex positive social club.
and sex positive means
Sex positive. You're okay with sex.
If you like sex, you should go there.
but it's not all about sex at the
No,
Velvet Rope,
it's a
right?
sex positive social club.
Right.
There's hot tubs, there's dance floor, there's private rooms. It's 10,000 square feet.
We should go.
There's
10,000.
There's lots going
my God.
on.
We
and
should
have
so
some
go.
really
We
great
should go.
parties.
We should. Okay, here. How about this? When you hear this or you watch this, I want you to do something. I want you to comment below. Like, let's create an evening, and then all three of us will go. You can meet
Matt
us. You
has
don't have
asked
to go.
if we would be interested in broadcasting from within the club at some point.
We should do it.
We have to talk about the logistics of it
Right.
because we might not be able to video us
Oh,
unless
that's-
we're
I
in
talked
unless
about
we're in
that.
a closed off corner.
Yeah.
So there's possibilities, but we'll see
Actually,
what
we
happens.
could do that. Yeah,
Well,
for
we'll
sure.
talk about
Okay.
it. So
But like, let's create a little meetup. If you want to go, like, comment, mention, email, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
if
we
you're coming
listen.
to
We're
Portland.
listening. So yeah.
Yeah, so this is an international show. So if you're coming to visit Portland and you're interested in coming and seeing us at a show at the Velvet Rope, then let us know and we'll hook something up. But if
Or
you're just
go and
coming,
hang out.
yeah, if you're just coming to Portland or you live in Portland and you're interested in checking out what the Velvet Rope has to offer, I've been there a couple times. I have to say it's a fabulous place. It's very safe, and the owners are
Everyone
just
is
amazing
welcome,
people. Yeah,
as they
it's a
are.
wonderful place. It's not
You are
a swingers bar.
You are acknowledged as you walk through the door.
Yes.
So however you walk and present yourself and identify yourself as you walk through the door is how you are presented, and all rules and regulations apply in that way for you.
And Matt asked me, he made a special offer for us, our Transamorous Network viewers and readers. Anyone who comes to the door and mentions the Transamorous Network at the door will receive 50% off their membership. So,
Yeah. So
yeah, so pretty
check us out.
good. All right. That's enough about the sponsor. Let's get back to the show.
I wanted to point out one thing
Kick
about
it. Go, girl.
one last thing about that article and how the four-letter word in the name for God, which scholars have referred to as the tetragrammaton,
Oh, yes.
Yahweh, right? The YHWH was probably not pronounced Jehovah or Yahweh, as some have guessed. The Israelite priests would have read these letters in reverse as Hu-He. In other words, the hidden name of God was Hebrew for he, she.
Righteous.
That's amazing. And by the way, this like they didn't just choose to read that the other way. Like that's actually how they read. They
Yeah.
read from left to right, just for clarity.
Well, even
there.
today, I think, right? The
But it's right to
is
left.
yeah.
Yes.
What did I say?
You said
He
left
said
to right.
left to right.
Okay, you meant what I knew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, the three monotheistic religions, Abrahamic religions, which fully half the people on the planet today belong, was understood by the earliest worshippers as a dual-gendered deity.
Right.
Boom.
Boom.
So where did this shit come from? Where we bifurcated literally the gender spectrum into this male thing and this female thing? What the hell?
As the more I studied this, the more I realized that this is a very American thing. And it's most. I mean, I'm sure there are other cultures where it's more intensely binary, but America, it's ridiculous. You go to other countries, even just Europe, and it's like they're a little bit more, it's gray. And then you go to, like Thailand. Oh my God.
That's true.
And it's huge. And even the Polynesian culture, the Native American culture, and like why are we kind of like behind on this?
Well, it's
like
interesting
we're the
because
DC
when
The
you-
it
people
seems like.
with ancient line traditions, okay, cultures that go back
good
really
point.
far, have a different view and a different respect because we were revered. We were the medicine people. We were the shamans. We were part of society, but we were special. In India, we were part of the royal court. In
Let's catch up,
ancient
America.
Egypt, sometimes they're the eunuchs or whatever, that was at that time, were part of the king's and the pharaoh's court, his advisors.
Right.
The eunuchs would take care of the queen.
What's happened though is like in South America where Catholicism reigns basically, in the United States where Catholicism and Christianity reign, in parts of Europe where the same thing happens like Spain. I think what happened is the colonizing powers, mainly the Northern Europeans, basically
Catholic
overlaid. Yeah, the Catholic, which was ruled by the Catholic Church, basically overlaid all that stuff that you were just talking about, Remy. And so we've lost that traditional connection to source, to God, the God that this rabbi is talking about. And in all of that, we have this situation in the United States and in South America. And
It's all
in
over
parts
the
of Europe.
world.
Yeah, it's all
I
over the
mean-
world where we've just forgotten. And part of our mission here at the Transamorous Network is to wake you motherfuckers up. Because really, the women, for you trans women that are watching this show, and trans men, if there are any, we don't know, but I know there's trans women watching
There
this
are.
show.
I know. I have friends that are watching
Righteous.
the show.
Okay, so you guys and you gals are divine. It's just like,
Yes,
you know,
I am divine. Sorry.
no,
Hello,
we're
sound
coming
check.
110%. So we're gonna post our bloopers at some point in the future, and
Are
in
you
our
questioning my
bloopers,
divinity?
no, I'm not.
I am
No, I'm not.
divine.
You are
Sorry,
divine.
It's a line from a movie.
In our bloopers, Shannon often talks about how basically Shannon just comes out and says, "Look, I'm a bad motherfucker, and if you don't like it, kiss my ass." and that's what all y'all should be having because y'all are divine. And for the men that are interested in trans women, same fucking shit. You can't be divine and have an interest in a divine being. It's not possible. So you are divine also. So you guys need to step up. The guys need to step up, and the trans women, you need to own your shit, not the negative shit, but the positive shit, because there's a lot of positive shit to own.
Oh, that's all there is.
And don't
yeah,
be listening
you've
to the
created the
Pope.
negative.
Don't be listening to the
Boom.
Pope.
Boom.
Don't be listening to Rush Limbaugh. Don't be listening to the 13 motherfucking states that aren't.
Don't listen to nobody but us.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Well, actually, you know what?
Exactly.
To go along with this line, don't even listen to us. Just hear us and listen to what we're saying, but then make your own
Boom.
damn decision, okay? You are
Boom.
powerful.
Righteous.
You do not need us to tell you what to do. You don't need the Pope to tell you what to do. You don't need anybody but yourself.
But before you
But we'll
listen
show you
to
how to
yourself,
do that.
Well, that's right. Before you listen to yourself, you got to get your story straight.
Good
Because
point,
if you
Perry.
got the
Thank
wrong
you, Perry.
fucking
Thank you,
stories,
Perry.
you're fucking yourself up. You're fucking yourself
not
right
everybody
in the ass.
is. Not everybody. Oh,
Even if you don't like
wow.
anal. You're-
Wow. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. We're getting dirty
We're
today.
getting dirty. Well, you said bring it, so we're
It's a
bringing it.
powerful show today, people. But no, to completely, I guess I do this a lot. I just assume that everybody has this amazing sense of self and this, like, I know that I create my own reality and they execute it day in and day out. And that's not the case. That's my case because I followed the steps even before Perry had
That's
written
true.
the
You
guide.
did.
I was
Yeah.
following
Yep.
these steps. And
Yep.
so that's why I'm so pro the guide, both guides, because they both tell you how to be a powerful human being, and you need to start with this book.
Absolutely.
Buy it.
Or
It's worth it. It's life changing.
It's 15 bucks.
Do that
It's not
again.
that much.
Go get it. And I'm gonna do buy it, and then I want you to come in with a different beat. Buy it. Get it. Buy it. Get it. Buy it. Get it. Buy it. Get it. Buy it.
For the first time in her life, Remy is speechless.
When I'm put on the spot like that, I always freeze up.
Say now.
Now.
Buy it.
Get it.
Buy it.
Now.
Buy it.
Now.
Not at
Buy
the
it.
same time. You got to get it in between. I'll leave some space.
Buy it. Get it. Buy it. Get it. Now. Buy it. Get now. Buy it. Now. Get it. Buy it. Now.
Let's do buy it, get it now.
Get it. Now. Buy it.
Buy it.
Buy it.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
We had a
Sorry
moment.
for that.
Sorry.
Sorry for that. That was fun though. Little subconscious, not at all subconscious marketing.
All right.
We're a little heat stroke.
Is it hot?
It's hot in
Yeah,
here.
is
It
it
is hot
hot
in here.
here?
It is. That's because we're bringing it. Okay. The last motherfucking thing we're going to talk about today ties back to the other things that we were talking about, and that is how to read and watch the news. This is really important, ladies and men, because
everyone who's out there
And
listening to
non-binary
this,
individuals.
This
Yes,
is really
thank you.
important for everyone.
it really
to read
is.
the news in a different way.
In a different way, because if you look at what's on TV or you're looking in what's in the newspaper and you're just taking what you're reading, you are a sheep motherfucking swallowing the Kool-Aid, non-thinking, non-bringing your critical ass to what you're looking at. You're just swallowing that shit like you're tied down and they're waterboarding your ass.
Just stop it. Just
You gotta stop
it.
that. You've gotta think about what you're reading. For example, there are 13 states that are suing the federal government over Obama's transgender bathroom issue. And the media is focusing on the 13 states. Meanwhile, there's 37 other states out there that are doing the right thing.
Right.
And so when you read those headlines that are saying
Majority.
13 states are suing, you got to look at, that's only 13. There's 50 states in the nation. That means the majority of the states are following Obama's guideline, which means there's progress for transgender people.
Move
in the
away from those
world.
13 states. You've got 37 fucking options, bitch. Get up
Yes.
and move.
Perspective is everything, people. Perspective. Like, I don't even listen to the news. You know why? Because it's fleeting. And that's true. It's fleeting. It's
is
constantly
fleeting.
changing. It's a spin factory, and
Yep.
you're never going to get the truth
Nope.
unless you're actually there living it.
Yep.
But here's the thing: I am the news. I am the news. Okay.
In case you didn't know,
Preach it.
she's
Preach
a big
it.
deal.
She
Like
is a big
in my
deal.
life, I am out there executing, and I am out there being the most present person I can be. And so, what does it matter what's happening elsewhere?
And
I have my world, and I'm controlling my world as aggressively as I can.
And
I'm
the same
executing.
thing is with the audience members. Every single one of you are your news.
Yes.
And every day that you wake up, you're creating news. And if you're sitting on the couch reading, no offense to the trans community, if you're reading about the last person who was murdered, if you're reading about the last person who couldn't go to the bathroom, if you're reading about the last person who got... Gigi Gorgeous was fucking held up in Dubai because she was transgender. Did you see that news? Anyway, my point,
Oh,
my
poor
point-
Gigi.
I know.
Shut up.
If you're reading about that gossip bullshit, you're not paying attention to what really matters, which is the news you're creating on a day-by-day basis through the stories you're telling yourself. So do what Shannon is doing. Pay attention to what you're doing. And if you happen to catch the news, bring your motherfucking brain to the table and consider, number one, that the media's got an agenda. And their agenda is to make money. And the way they're going to make money is getting you paying attention to what they're putting out, where they slip in an ad every once in a while, and they get paid for that shit. So when you're looking at that shit, instead of just swallowing it, think about what's going on in the world. And I'm telling you, I am 100% right here. There's more positive stuff going on in the world, even for the trans community,
Incredibly.
than there is
Incredibly.
negative stuff.
Absolutely.
Which is
Absolutely.
exactly why once you find your power and once you start controlling your universe and your life, you can then start re-engaging with that information, because that information can then shape your goals. Like, let's say that, somebody is hurting and you're like, well, I'm a powerful human being. I'm going to help this person out. So that's when you should re-engage.
Yes.
But until you are able to be a change agent, until
Yes.
you are able to be a powerful presence, step back, work on yourself, and then re-engage.
Get your mind right.
Boom.
Absolutely.
Boom.
That goes for the men too, by the way.
That's for everybody. Get your mind
Everybody.
right. Get your
Yep.
mind right. Get your story right. Get your heart right. Get your life right.
So the Trans Women's Guide to Finding Your Ideal Partner, it talks way more about things other than just getting your partner. It'll transform your life. The Man's Guide to Finding Your Trans Woman Partner, same fucking thing. They're $15. If you don't have $15, if you're a trans woman out there and you're struggling and you don't have $15,
Or your transamorous man.
or you're transamorous man and you're broke ass nigga and you don't have $15, come on the show.
It's all
We'll
right.
give
It
you the
happens.
trans guide and the trans woman guide for free.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend
Yeah.
$15.
You just gotta come
on
and
the
talk
show.
to us.
Come and talk to us for
Don't be scared.
Bring
30
your real
minutes.
self.
Don't be
Bring your
scared.
genuine self. We want the truth.
All
Because
right.
we going to pull it out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Are we done here?
Are we?
Let's drop the mic.
So remember, men, step it up.
Step it
Bring
up.
your shit. Own your shit. Be real. Come on.